The whole Roger Waters supposed like anti-Semitic show in Berlin beat up. That's a really ridiculous thing. And I don't even like Roger Waters. I think he's kind of dumb. But obviously on Israel, he's incredibly correct. So the whole breakdown of this is that, if you're like, you haven't lived under a rock for your entire life, you probably know Pink Floyd's The Wall, the movie, where like the main character hallucinates that he's like a Nazi, or like, not literally a Nazi, but something that is like a fascist who is obviously Nazi inspired. And as part of his shows, I guess, Roger Waters dresses up as that character. And now obviously Roger Waters has long been in the firing lines of like pro-Israel lobby groups and just like every like rabid American imperialist, Western imperialist sort of person fucking hates him because he denounces some of the stuff that they do. And then there's also like the pro-Israel lobby groups like the ADL, who are just like sitting there frothing at the mouth at all times to attack him for anything because he's against Israel, obviously. That's what this is all about. It's dishonest anti-Semitism allegations in service of trying to attack someone who is against Israel. So he wore like a costume clearly based on like an SS outfit during his concert, during the part of the concert where he plays that character. And fucking German police are investigating him. Like the official Israel Twitter account tweeted about this. Obviously, it's a false anti-Semitism allegation beat up. That's what it's always about. It's sad to say, but like a lot of these lobby groups don't give a shit about anti-Semitism. They just care about weaponizing actual anti-Semitism, but more often than not even real anti-Semitism, just like throwing out the allegations and trying to muddy the waters in service of like protecting Israel. The ADL especially does that. It's absolutely insane. @Israel tweets at him, "Good morning to everyone but Roger Waters, who spent the evening in Berlin desecrating the memory of Anne Frank and the 6 million Jews murdered in the Holocaust." How is this desecration? Literally denouncing, like it's, putting names of people who have been murdered for their race. You can't see it because the image is low quality after they've reposted it 1,000 times. But it's like Anne Frank, crime, being Jewish, punishment, death. How is that desecrating her memory exactly? But the real reason why they were so angry about this, and I'll find it in a second, he didn't just show the name of Anne Frank. He showed the name of other people who had also been victimized by fascist regimes, and one of them was a Palestinian. And that's what really set them off. George Floyd, Shirin Abu Akleh. That's the one they're really pissed off about. Crime, being Palestinian, punishment, death. Now, that is what really pissed them off. This is what always is what it's about with people like this. They are just calling him out on obviously bullshit charges for the purpose of defending Israel, because he's against Israel, obviously. About 10 years ago, there was also a part of his concert where there was like a reference to The Wall where there's like an inflatable pig or something, or one of his album covers or some shit like that, something like that. And they flew like this inflatable pig at a concert, which has a Star of David on it. Thing is, now I can't find an image of the other side, but people have said on the other side of the pig, there was a Christian cross and a Muslim star and crescent. So it was obviously a statement against organized Abrahamic religions. It wasn't like, here's a fucking Star of David. And either way, Israel has made the Star of David like a desecrated symbol. They put it on their flags. They put the Star of David on their fucking weapons of war that they used to kill children. So at this point, if Israel is using the Star of David as their national symbol, there has to be a point where it becomes disconnected from a simple denouncement of Judaism. Because look at a fucking like Israeli warplane, for example. What do they put on it? If it's such a sacred symbol, why are they bombing kids with it on their planes? It's been turned from a religious symbol into one of a murderous ethno-state. So what do you expect? Yeah, I mean, it's contextual. But the thing is, pro-Israel people want to remove all of the context. They want to say, oh, you can never use an Israeli national symbol or that's anti-Semitic. They don't want to judge things on a case-by-case basis, depending on what they're a reference to, like on that pig, for example, being a statement against organized religion. What they want is for it to be completely off limits to criticize Israel in any context. Hence, they need to, for example, equate any sort of denouncement of that, any sort of use of that symbol to denounce Israel, which is factually a symbol used by Israel as a national symbol. They need to equate that with bog standard sort of white nationalist anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. And that's the only way that it works And that's, because that's the only way they can defend Israel, by lying, because they know. The Zionists know that they're being absurd. The Zionists know completely that the shit that they say makes no sense, that their arguments are idiotic. So they need to make these sort of dishonest announcements of anyone who is against Israel, and especially, obviously, famous people like Roger Waters who are against Israel, for any sort of dishonest reason, by like implying that literally being a singer on stage, playing a character for like 2 minutes during a song, a well-established character that's 4 decades old, that means that like you're dressing up as a Nazi because you love Nazis. Like, for the level of subtlety that these people have, like Charlie fucking Chaplin in The Great Dictator, he was actually praising Hitler. That's like their level of like media literacy. And obviously they don't actually believe that. They don't think that. They just want to pretend to be outraged for the sake of attacking someone, for the sake of silencing anyone who is against the genocidal settler colonial ethno-state of Israel. So they have to like willingly basically be dumb. They just like make themselves look stupid, and they know that they're making themselves look stupid, obviously. It's fucking ridiculous to say that, it's anti-Semitic to dress up in like a Nazi-esque uniform to denounce fascism when you're playing a character during a concert. Obviously that's fucking ludicrous. Jesus Christ, that's insanely dumb. But they know it. But they also know that they have like unconditional backing from the Western media, because Israel is obviously an outpost of Western imperialism, and they have like a lot of pro-Israel groups like the ADL who will, and like, the Western media who will help them to further this complete absurdity and sort of force it into being like this official truth, at least as best as they possibly can. This one is kind of so stupid that I don't even think it'll work on most people, but it will certainly be enough to probably like cause like Roger Waters a lot of pain and like get him banned from Germany or some shit like that, maybe. Who knows, Because it doesn't particularly matter if the average person buys it. All that matters is if it's considered to be enough of a cover to take action against him by like Western institutions and Western media and stuff. Doesn't matter how absurd it is, as long as it's being painted as somehow, in some way, not stupid by enough of like the mainstream media apparatus, by enough like fake Western imperialist outrage, it'll work. I mean, I think Roger Waters is kind of dumb. Maybe it's unfair to expect more nuance from him, given that he's like 80 years old, but this is just, in this case, they're attacking him for being like an 80-year-old guy who just doesn't like toe the Western imperialist line on Israel. It really is that simple. That's all there is to it. I can tell you right now, if Roger Waters was pro-Israel and he had every single other one of his positions was exactly the same, no one would care about any of this. He did all the same shit. Aside from denouncing Israel, no one would give a fuck. It is that is the only deciding factor that makes these fucking losers hate him so much.